Hi there, my name is Shu. I recently took a Mediterranean cruise with Celebrity Edge. The cruise I took departs from Barcelona. In this video, I will give a brief review on my experience. I will talk about the boarding process, the restaurants and facilities, and also about excursions. You can check in on the app up to 3 days ahead of time. And once you check in, you can know your room number right away. So once you arrive at a port, there's two things you need to do before you can get to your room. The first thing is to check in, which they will check your ID and your boarding pass. And the second thing is go to the muster station. They will make sure you have watched all the safety videos. So the muster station is basically a place where, in case of emergency, where people gather for evacuation. If you're a member with a retreat class, the process is quite easy. Once you arrive, you can leave your suitcase with the staff and they will put a tag on it and the suitcase will be delivered to your room directly. It can take a while for the suitcases to arrive. For us, our suitcase didn't arrive until about 4 hours later. And my first impression of the room is that it's a comfortable size. There is a dresser and there is a closet for you to unpack. There's a balcony with 2 chairs with a small table outside. You can enjoy a snack or sitting outside watching the ocean. Food is always a very important part of the cruise experience, and on Celebrity Edge, there are over a dozen restaurants on a cruise. There are main dining restaurants, there are buffet, there are several cafes, there are several bars, and there are also specialty restaurants. There are enough options for you to try something different every night for a 7-night trip. The main dining restaurants are complimentary and accessible to everyone, so they are the biggest, and that's where you see the most people. It can get quite crowded during the peak hours. So I do recommend you make reservations as early as you can, and the slots can fill up pretty quickly. We did took a tour of the cruise and we learned some fun facts about one of the main dining restaurants, the Normandy. We learned that the Celebrity Cruise is actually manufactured at the same factory in France as the SS Normandy. And the Normandy restaurant had acquired some artifacts from the SS Normandy as decorations for the restaurant. There are also some restaurants that are exclusive, such as the Aqua Class guests have exclusive access to the Blue restaurant, and the retreat guests can access the Luminate. The Luminate is much smaller than the main dining restaurant, and my experience, there's usually no wait. That's why we spend most of our nights at Illuminate. It's also a much smaller, more intimate dining experience. Other than the complimentary main dining restaurant, there are also specialty restaurants where you pay extra. There are several specialty restaurants such as the Eden Cafe, Raw on 5, Fine Cut. There was also the Le Petit Chef. One of the specialty restaurants we did try is the Le Petit Chef. It features projected animations onto your plate. The whole dinner is choreographed and everybody eats about the same time. So the dining time is very restricted. You can choose either going there at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. It's quite a fun and entertaining experience though, and the food is decent. I found that the portions at a specialty restaurant at Le Petit Chef is much bigger than the main dining restaurant at Luminate. And if you ordered a multi-course meal, you got the appetizer, the main dish, and the dessert, it can take several hours. If we go to dinner around 7 p.m., we often finishes around 9 or 9:30 p.m. We're often quite tired after the restaurant, despite there's a wide variety of different activities and facilities. There's the spa, there's the bars, the casino, the shopping area, there's a theater, there's the pool. There's also a spa with sea thermal suite in the cruise that's accessible free of charge for aqua class guests. And when I was on the cruise, you can pay about $69 for the duration of my trip to access the spa. And there are some relaxed area, lounge chairs with heated tiles. And now let's talk about excursions. So Celebrity Cruise, they offer a wide variety of different kinds of excursions, and these trips really save you the trouble of planning yourself, and you can have a peace of mind because the guide will make sure you get back to the cruise on time. Sometimes the ports are quite far from your destination and there are no good choices for public transit or taxi. For example, we took an excursion with Celebrity Cruise from La Spezia to Florence, and we spent more than 2 hours on a bus ride, one way. I do recommend you go online to maybe check out, get your guide or rider, because oftentimes the excursions offered by Celebrity Edge is a little pricier. You can sometimes find similar tours and get your guide and rider for much less. However, if you have extra onboard credit, you can use those onboard credit to book the excursions. And popular trips do sell out fast, so book early. And they sometimes do run sales on the excursions as well. If you do want to explore places at your own pace, the cruise line sometimes offers a shuttle between the port to popular destinations at a cost. For example, on the day that we docked at Valencia, the cruise offered a bus ride for 10 euros between the port and the city center of Valencia. You can also usually get a taxi to go to your destination. I do want to note that taxis can be hard to get in some locations, so I do recommend you download some local ride-hailing apps for taxi, such as like Free Now or G7 or Cabify, depending on which city you're going. Overall, I recommend you to plan early and make reservations for restaurants and excursions as early as possible. It's easy to overbook, so make sure you have some time for rest as well. And enjoy the at-sea days. Overall, my thoughts and takeaways are that cruise can be a good choice for some people, especially people who have limited mobility and could not walk very far. And you also don't need to worry about transport luggages between destinations. It's easy to get change for dinner, or if you want to go out or change into swimming suits. There is also laundry service on a cruise. So if you have a long vacation for several weeks, you are able to pack less clothes and do your laundries on the cruise. However, I do have concerns about cruise as it's not great for the environment. It's hard to be efficient when you are carrying all the dozens of restaurants, facilities, all the spas, casinos while you're traveling. And the cruise typically emits about 2 times more carbon comparing to flying to the same destination and staying in hotels. Taking a cruise is a very indulgent experience. You're surrounded with all kinds of entertainment, abundant food and drinks and dessert. So watch out for your waistlines as you can easily gain a few pounds. Thank you for listening, and I hope my review is helpful for you, and have a great vacation.